Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 22nd, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm choosing to rejoice and be glad in it, and I trust that you are doing the same. I hope that you have had a marvelous weekend and you are embarking on a wonderful week because it has the potential to be the greatest week you've ever experienced. It's all in what you put into it. So I encourage you to just fill your space up with everything that God has for you throughout the course of this day and give it all you've got. Give it all you've got. Empty yourself completely today, where all you can do is fall out in the bed because you know that you've given God all you got and wait for Him to replenish you and get you ready for the next day. I am going to pick up with the 9 sins that Christians think are okay. And I'm going to combine 2 today. I'm going to combine 7 and 8. Okay, so we'll start with 7, which is consumerism. Have you heard of this word, consumerism? Sort of the idea and the thought that I want everything, give me everything and give it to me quickly. And the author says that many Christians are like Cookie Monster. Their mantra is give me more. Well, anything, just give me more, and more. And if you think about some of our churches, particularly our bigger mega churches, and even not the ones that are so big, I've gone to a few churches where every single weekend there's an event that costs money, and there's this, and there's something where I have to give offering, and this, and this, and this. Now, granted, I understand that as a Christian, I'm to tithe my time, talent, and treasure, and testimony. Time, talent, treasure, and testimony. However, doesn't it become a little bit uncomfortable when everywhere you go, in every church or Christian setting, everything is about give me your time, give me your money, give me your space, give me this, give me that. And you can't ever just kind of go and enjoy and be willing to freely give of your own will. The Bible teaches that our tithe is a requirement, but our offering is supposed to be a free will. So we have to get to a place that where we are giving back, but we're giving back a free will. And that we're also not setting up an atmosphere where we want to take, because it's displaying God as a taker when He's not a taker. He is a giver. The author says He is the giver. And as a man and as a woman, we are created in His image. So we should be givers. We shouldn't always be in a position where we're trying to take. But we should be willing and ready to freely give. And we have to make sure that we're not setting up our spaces and our places as vessels to just take, but that we're giving. I said, I think I said a couple days ago to someone, I said, in order for us to prick the hearts of people to freely give, we've got to be giving something to them, something that's going to transform them, something that makes them want to give to you. Okay, it has to be a free will thing, and we have to make sure that we're setting an atmosphere where we're first giving. Okay, in order to receive. So we don't want to set up a mindset, and we don't want to set up a space where all we do is take, because that's not the God we serve. He gives unconditionally, and His stuff is free. Grace and mercy and salvation, that's free. Okay, so if that's the way if that's the example that He set up for us, we have to make sure that we're doing that as well. We have to remember what we are creating. Are we creating a world where all we want to do is take? Or are we creating a world where we are willing to give back and give our all? So that's number 7, consumerism. Number 8, it's a sticky one, and it is patriotism. This one took me by surprise. I've always kind of felt this way. However, I did not know there were other people who felt this way. So I'm just going to share it with you, and then you make your own decision concerning how you feel. Okay? So the author says, maybe it's just me, but I can't picture Jesus waving an American flag while showing off his I Love America tattoo. Jesus wasn't against the government. In fact, if you're a Jesus follower, the Bible calls you to pray for your nation and for your leaders. But Jesus was very clear about how God's name would be famous throughout the world, the church, not the government, not a nation, and the church. So not the government, not a nation, but the church. Meaning that And I'm gonna shift a little bit and talk specifically to Americans. We have got to stop picturing Jesus as a upstanding American that pledges allegiance to the flag. We have to remember that he is a God of many nations. He is a God of this world. And so therefore, when we get caught up in, oh, I only want to do this because I'm an American and I'm this and everything is so patriotic, we lose sight of the love that God can give for all. And we begin to think that God can only love us, Americans, who pledge allegiance to the flag with 13 stripes and 52 stars, however many stars there are, because that's not who he is. Okay, and that, I think, is what the author is saying. The author is not saying not to have respect for your country, not to have respect for the people that fight for it, but he is saying you cannot put him in a box and look at him as an American. And it's so easy to do, because when you get caught up in your nation and the rules that go with it, and you begin to worship the flag and you begin to worship the president or the government, then you lose sight of the bigger God that we serve. The author says, when your allegiance is torn between your country and your God, American ideals begin to shape your faith more than God. And you transpose American values onto God, believing God would be an American and think like an American. Celebrate American values. That's great. But at the end of the day, your citizenship is not with America. It is in heaven. And you know what's going to happen when you begin to do that? You're going to be more accepting of other people. Okay, it's that love thing again. It goes back to that love thing again. Being able to love freely. That's a part of giving. That goes back to how we have to shape our view of consumerism. If we just remember that we serve a God, and a God whose heart and whose love is for everyone, not just Americans, then it doesn't mean that we're not going to have respect for our country, but it means that we're going to understand that he loves you if you were not born in Georgia. He loves you if you were not born in Tennessee. He's okay if you weren't born in Canada. He's okay if you weren't born in South America. He's okay if you came from Africa. He's okay if you came from Mexico. He's okay if you came from, I used Africa, but it's a continent. But, if you go into the countries, Liberia and Egypt, he's okay if you came from England. He's okay if you came from Ireland. He's okay if you came from Antarctica, if you came from Japan, if you came from Russia. He's okay because he loves us all and because he's the God of all of us. I love you, and I'm praying for you today, and I trust that with this knowledge, you're going to gird your loins, and you're going to move forward, and you're going to share it with someone else. Remember, when you learn better, and when you know to do better, then you must move forward in that, because you're now held accountable for that. Again, I love you, and I'm praying for you, and I trust you're going to move forward with clear minds, sincere hearts, and obedient footsteps. Go in love.